hello, and welcome to Coffee, Cannabis, and Consciousness, organically known as the C3 Podcast. I'm your host, Josh Reno. Alongside me is my co-host, Ian Thompson. How you doing today, Ian?
Yo, great as always, man. You already know the answer.
Yeah, man. I'm happy to be back in front of this microphone. Something therapeutic about it, and
it's nice. I like that it's like part of our routine now. You know what I mean? Like it gives me some structure, and some plans, to look forward to. And it's been great.
Yeah, no, it's a good add to my lifestyle. So, and we're learning something new each day.
Dude, I didn't even notice before that. That's a dope shirt. Where did you get that?
Oh, this?
Yeah.
Express.
It's nice.
It was on sale.
It's a sick shirt.
But it's probably like the first clothes I bought for myself in maybe 3 years.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to want to.
Like other than work clothes, because I wear like shirt and ties all the time.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I finally did something for myself.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
We've got a great show lined up for you guys today. Today we're sampling Fogbuster coffee roasters. They are out of Greenfield, Massachusetts. So another local roaster, and they specialize in air roasting, which we'll get into a little bit during this segment. And we've also got an awesome bud lined up for you guys today. And Ian, you want to tell them a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I grabbed some Deadhead OG from Theory Wellness. So it's indica hybrid. Yeah, it looks like it'll be a nice bud to sample. 18% THC, so not on the higher side of buds we've tried, but still looks and smells great.
Yeah, and the topic of consciousness today will be past lives, which we have interesting things that we think about that or feel about that. So I'm excited to share with you kind of my view, and
right.
I know you've followed some people with PhDs that talk about past lives. So I'm interested to see what you have to say too. But we're going to get right into it, guys, and we are going to try Fogbuster Coffee Roasters Road Trip Blend, which is a blend of a Sumatran, Honduras, and Peru, a mixture of those beans from those areas. So, hey, man.
So, I mean, I think we might have covered this on the last episode. Where is Sumatra again?
Indonesia.
So that's Indonesia, okay.
Yep. And
that's right. That's because we know we had we had the Sumatra blend for, was that Esalen?
We did, yeah. It was Esalen, yeah.
So I knew we did it before. I just couldn't remember the country. So Philippines, okay.
And that was a hardy single origin.
Right, yeah.
So
This is a mixed batch here. So I'm curious, to see.
Well, let's see how this tastes, man. Cheers.
First thing I think is chocolate.
Yeah, that bitter baking chocolate.
That's
the first flavor that comes out in this for sure.
It's actually pretty smooth. Yeah,
it's consistent through the sip. Let me take another one here. Yeah, this is good. This is a really consistent taste throughout. Earthy, bitter chocolate, kind of bright, not really drowning the senses, kind of sitting a little light, but that chocolate bitterness in the beginning, very distinct.
Yeah, that thing. I think that's the only way I can really describe it. It kind of smacks you right in the face as you first sip it, and then, like you said, this taste stays consistent through. So that's like the only really distinct flavor I'm kind of getting out of it is it's like a chocolate. I don't think it's as bitter, like you said, bitter baking chocolate. We described it a different. I forget what coffee it was, but we described another coffee like that. But I don't think it's as bitter as that.
No, this kind of has a better balance.
Yeah.
I would say it's a better balance, more a rich smoothness to it that I think the other one was lacking. I think it was the Red Barn blend that we tried.
Okay, yeah, I think you might be right.
Oh, no, wait. It wasn't. It was the Fuel America. It was whatever episode was with Lou Padawan, which
Right.
you should all check out. It was on Mindset, and it was great.
Yeah, it was good. Shout out Lou. Yeah, you're right. That was the Patriots blend.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. That was actually Lou's description of it. That was a good right-on description.
Yeah, this is much smoother, in my opinion.
I
than
think
that.
so, too.
Yeah, the other one was
Like
a little bit...
like the Patriots blend, I don't think like I can. It wasn't like one of my favorites.
Yeah.
This one really isn't either. But I would drink this one. I feel like I would drink this one more than I would drink the other one.
Oh, yeah. The Patriots blend was more of like a...
It's for the adventurous.
It was more of a like slap you in the face, get the hell up out of bed.
Yeah.
This is more of a like gently nudge. Hey, honey, it's time to wake up.
Gonna miss the bus.
Yeah, right. This is a little bit more like that. And the road trip title to it, I feel like that almost accompanies the taste a little bit. Like this is kind of your grab and go cup of coffee. Like I wouldn't call it like a sit and sipping type of coffee. Like, this is more of a, get up and go, put it in my thermos and
Right.
kind of
Hit the morning commute,
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
I think the light roast in this does it justice. I think the light roast making it, allowing the flavors and the sip to dissipate
Yeah.
in a proper way.
I mean, the smell isn't like overpowering by any means. It's not a very
Yeah.
it's not very aromatic blend, I'd say. Like it's, we've had some coffees where I've like smelled the bag. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
this is kind of like I could just take a big whiff and it's not like it's not overwhelming at all. It's
Yeah, no, you don't really get the smells of the flavors in the grounds.
Yeah.
It's a little less intense. A little leaves leaves it up for interpretation when you sip it. Yeah. And a little bit about Fogbuster Coffee Works out of Greenfield. So in 1994, two brothers, Sean and Darren Pierce, began their life mission to produce the very best ultra-premium coffee available anywhere by blending various types of coffee beans. Their travels took them out west, and they discovered a rare process called air roasting. This unique process takes the chaff or outer husk of the coffee bean out of the roast as it's cooking, producing a non-bitter, smooth-tasting, clean bean. Working like mad scientists using this air roasting process and their knowledge of blends, they experimented using the finest 100% organic, fair trade certified beans from around the world. Born from their passion and experimentation, the original Fogbuster blend was created. They began offering this masterpiece blend to the community, and it became an instant success. From those humble roots, the Pierce brothers have grown to be recognized as the gold standard in coffee. It's pretty bold there, Darren and Sean, the gold standard of coffee. But hey, that's a good story, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a lot to live up to.
yeah.
Gold,
I mean,
self-proclaimed gold standard.
With like I said though, I think I like their moxie for trying to,
Hey, you don't get anywhere without confidence.
Right, exactly. If you don't believe your product's the best, then nobody else is gonna believe it's the best either. So. It's brazen and it's bold, gold standard of coffee, but I respect it. So.
Yeah, it's the air roasting process is a totally different approach than what we've been kind of researching. Indigo and Yup, the last two coffee roasters that we sampled, they use
the drum roasters.
Yeah, they use the drum roasters, the old 1951 model drum roasters, and
that's the classic year drum roasting.
And
if I see one at a tag sale, man, I'm fucking jumping all over it. I swear to God,
it would be a nice piece to just have in home.
Put it in the studio.
Yeah,
we'll just have a nice, you know what I mean? Like we'll just look at it in the C3 studio.
So with the difference though, so the drum roasting uses three techniques simultaneously, so it uses conduction, convection, and radiation all at the same time, and that can be hard to regulate, especially with those older models. So I think that there's a personal touch to the old drum roasters, that
those drum ones, they probably on occasion, like you said, it's harder to control temperature. Maybe they'll waste beans because they'll like burn a batch, like they'll fry a batch, so it's like, oh, now you're out all that bean. And I guess it's probably a safer way and probably a more cost-effective way to get your beans roasted, I'd have to imagine. It's probably not as sexy as the drum roasting.
Oh, the air roasting?
Yeah. I'm saying the air roasting is a little quicker and more efficient.
Yeah.
Probably more profitable.
Yeah.
Like I said, probably just not as
the air roast.
Craftsman-like. Is that a... I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think the when you use the drum roasting, I bet you the skill of the roaster is a very big factor. In the experience.
This kind of when I hear like the air roaster, I'm thinking like an air fryer. Like I put the beans in, I press a button, and then I walk away for an hour, and I come back and
this is the opposite of that manual.
Right. This
technique.
is like what we were talking about.
Yeah,
like
the
in
difference
past
between
episodes. Like And I'm gonna say though, but even with that said, like it still tastes like a good quality cup of coffee. Like,
oh, it tastes great, and the air. This is the thing about the air roasting that is good, and that kind of sets it apart or gives it a more distinct advantage. As they would put it, is that they do have more control over the temp of the beans. To the 10th of a degree, they can control that. So
that's like
it probably makes their batches come out more consistent.
Right.
Like each bag, I get a Fogbuster
road
same. Trip is going to be the same.
Virtual,
and where you might get some variations, in the drum roasting. So the way that it works is just basically like an air fryer. At lofting the beans, on a cushion of air that they heat to a certain temperature. They control the air around the bean. They control the temperature of the bean. So that has a lot of pinpoint accuracy for whatever flavors they're trying to draw out, or if they're experimenting. Hey, turn it to this notch. Turn it to this notch.
Right.
Let's see. What beast comes out of this. So.
Yeah. Well, maybe there was a lot of that, like probably when those guys were like first starting out. You know what I mean? And experimenting with different different mixtures of beans from different places, different temperatures, and they got the right one for their blends, road trip blend.
Yeah, and I can say that I definitely, if there's not as much of like a burnt taste to this coffee, in my opinion, like sometimes I would say, like you were saying, maybe you burn a roast, or the drum roaster, maybe you just overcook it a little bit.
Or like the beans on the bottom were touching the drum roaster,
right.
So like the beans, so half your bag is a little more crispy than the other half of the bag. So like even in the same bag, you might have some inconsistencies from cup to cup. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So yeah, this I think maybe eliminates a bit of that burnt, because they know exactly where the temperature is. They're never gonna over roast it. It's gonna be consistent, and that's why that's my theory about why maybe this cup tastes so consistent as far as the flavor throughout the beginning of the sip to the end of the sip,
from the micro to the macro, right?
Yeah.
I like that.
It translates. I feel like it translates into this cup. So
that would make sense.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this, man. It's easy to drink. It's not such a bold, in-your-face flavor. It allows you to kind of get accustomed to the flavor itself. Sure. And, I like it a lot. Yeah,
no doubt. I'm running low, though, so I say I kind of want to spark this joint and see how they pair together.
Yeah.
I'm a little curious to see. I don't want to...
Yeah, I know you're eager to get onto your favorite part of the show, Ian, but one last plug for the local roasters. We're trying to do them a service here. But anyway, no. This is Fogbuster Coffee Works, guys. And we'll post a picture on our Instagram of what the bag looks like and the logo and everything. And it's by the Pierce brothers out of Greenfield, Massachusetts. So another local roaster, organic, fair trade, and air roasted. So another variation of some really high quality coffee, and we suggest you go check it out. I bought this at Big E's Supermarket in East Hampton, and I'm sure you can get it at other local grocery stores as well. So so with that,
shout out Foghorn.
You mean Fogbuster?
Foghorn Leghorn.
Foghorn Leghorn.
Fogbuster.
Yeah, you're about to fucking fog your horn with that big ass joint. All right, guys, we're moving on to Ian's preferred segment of the show.
I do enjoy this part of the show.
Yes, it is a very fun part.
Yeah. Well, it's like Occam's razor though, because I feel like it's my favorite part of the show, but it's the part where I start to kind of go downhill. So obviously, you guys that have listened before, you know what to expect after this. We're just gonna get super stoned and just probably sound like idiots for the next 25 minutes.
No, we sound like we know exactly what we're talking
I'm
about.
I'm just,
No, but yeah, this is Deadhead OG from Theory, guys. So
I'm a little upset. I had a show nug for the Instagram photo, and like without even thinking about it, like I just started like breaking it up like an asshole. Like so, like if so in the Instagram photo when you guys see it, if it looks like like 3 or 4 like little nugs, like that used to be all one gorgeous nug until like I got my grubby mitts on it. So sorry about that. If we had a social media manager, it probably would have never happened. That probably would have been done a long time ago. But we do what we can.
Teach us how to hashtag.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So with this bud, man, I'm looking at it and the smell, very piney smell.
The colors too, like the color schemes inside of those nugs, like you got every hue of green from dark to light. Mm-hmm. You have orange hairs, mostly dark orange. You don't really have any light orange hairs. And then you have under the stems and underneath the little bit of leaves that are on there, you just see this array of purple.
Yeah, what you see too is like you don't really get the crystally, I wouldn't say it's like high on the Foden scale.
No, it doesn't have a lot of like shimmer. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it's
it's not that high on the Phil Foden scale, but it does have an aspect of it where the dust on it, it's not like crystally white dust. It's really more of like keefy.
Like green
keefy
dust.
yellow green dust. Yeah. So
it's like pollen.
Yeah,
it's like you're.
That's always pretty to look at. How's it smoking for you?
Tastes pretty good. I'm not like hogging it. I'm just trying to like get it so it's like burning even for you. I'm not trying to be a chief sits a lot over here.
Oh, it's okay. Get it going. Chief sits a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. I forget who. I heard that from one of my smoking buddies, fucking long time ago. I'd like to give him credit, but even if I could remember who said it, I don't know if they'd want me shouting them out on their Chief sits a lot comment.
Oh, you know who we should shout out? So guys, when we were breaking up this bud, Ian turns to me and he says, "Hey, do you have a Gerban to break up this bud on?" Now I know what a Gerban is, and some of you out there,
and obviously I know what a Gerban is.
Yeah.
It's this weird cultural bubble thing. So if you guys are listening, and we have mixed theories about like the origin of the word Gerban. I know where I think the word originated from. Josh has his theories on where the word originated from.
But overall, it came from Ludlow. So Ludlow is claiming the word Gerban, and the definition of Gerban is something that you break up bud on.
A surface to break up weed on.
A surface to break up weed on.
It doesn't
could be anything.
Anything. It is the most ambiguous, androgynous. Is that not androgynous? It can mean, you can use anything as a Gerban.
Yes.
As long as you have weed on it and it's being broken up into smaller pieces.
Gerbans I would consider androgynous.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, just like, yeah. Fair enough.
But no, it's, like, what are you going to say? Like, would you rather say, hey, can you hand me that thing to break up weed on? Or, hey, pass the Gerban.
No, it's damn clever. So back to what I was saying. If you guys are listening, I want you to comment on, if you're watching on YouTube, obviously, comment under the video if you've heard the word Gerban, where the first time you heard it was or who it was from, and if you know who originally created it.
Yeah, because we're trying to figure out the clear origin.
And we'll come back to it because I don't want to name drop anybody on the show.
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet.
We don't want to give them false credit.
Right,
but,
so let us know because, we'd like to get the truth, man. The truth sets you free. We need to know. We want to give this person credit. It's one of the best words ever, and it's created locally. I wonder how far the word Gerban has reached.
Honestly,
I wonder at what depths. Like, I want to like go vacation somewhere, like across the country, and just be like smoking with somebody, and they're like, "Oh, hey, can you grab that Gerban?" You know what I mean? So, I'm just curious to see how far-reaching it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure anybody I've ever smoked with, I try to like drop that knowledge because I'm trying to coin, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a great term for something to break up weed on.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah, this joint smoking really smooth, really, really smooth.
Your boy's talented.
What are you getting for taste on that? You
definitely like fruity.
Yeah, I get the.
Like how it smells piney, it doesn't taste piney at all.
You don't think so?
Not
I get
really.
the pininess through my nose. Like I actually smell the pine needles of us, and
Well, no,
some
that's the thing.
sap, tree
Is
sappy.
I smell that. I don't taste the pine. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, I guess smell and taste are pretty closely linked, but I'm not like just overall tasting that much pine. It tastes pretty sweet to me.
Yeah, smooth smoke, easy to go down. Take big rips, inhale, exhale out the nose. Gives you the tingling. I'm getting a nice little body sensation from this right now. Really doing me right, man. I had a long day.
Yeah, my eyes are getting pretty heavy.
Yeah, I was super active today, and so it's like, wow, man.
Yeah, you say you're playing some tennis?
Yeah, I played some tennis.
How are you hitting them?
Listen, man, I'm just trying to move my body.
Yeah, we got to get back out there, yo. We had some fun last time.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Yeah, guys, listen, this is another big thing. And if you listen to the show at all, just show us some love and support that we are attempting to be judges.
Definitely, hopefully in the near future, we'll get some good content coming. We get, for those that don't know, Massachusetts Cannabis Cup 2021. It's the first time it's happening in Massachusetts. It's actually High Times is having them in a lot of states that legalize recreationally this year for the first time. So there's like 6 or 7 different cannabis cups. But either way, long story short is we're pre-registering to be judges for certain categories of the competition.
Yeah, we're no doubt going to attend this event.
Either way, we're going to probably attend it. But hopefully we'll be attending it as judges or given some feedback there. If we do attend it, we'll probably, I want to vlog it or, document the experience so we can share it with you guys.
Yeah, because I
think it's pretty exciting. It's the first time coming to Massachusetts. It's pretty historic. So, I know I'm sure there's going to be, I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of competition this year. People in Massachusetts want to show that they have the best to offer. So I think it's cool.
Yeah.
It's like the Weed Olympics.
I like the Cannabis Cup coming here, and to be a judge would be an honor. Hopefully we can get that and bring that experience to you guys, when we go there. But that's sometime in September, early September, I believe. So keep that in the purview and, root for us. And hopefully we get that, and we'll let you guys know if we do. But
yeah, it's on a first come, first serve basis. So as long as we can get in and buy our kits right away, we should be able to get in there. So, and honestly, if any of you out there are thinking about entering as judges in the competition and you end up going through, and please reach out to us. We like to have you on the podcast and talk about your experience on whichever one you maybe end up judging or something. I'd like to talk to you about it.
Yeah, that's one of the goals, I think, of or one of the aspects of attaining knowledge is just being around people who are better than you or know more than you, basically. And then you can learn through osmosis or just ask people questions. Yeah. And that's what I would use that experience for, going to the Cannabis Cup, whether it's being a judge or just attending.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I would hope it, to learn, yeah. Right. I hope it would make our show better, you know what I mean? And give us, a little bit of a more, experience. And before, if you had asked me a few months ago if I thought I could judge a Cannabis Cup, I'm not going to say I'm not experienced now, because I'll count this as experience. You know what I mean? We're reviewing cannabis strains all the time, and sure, we may be still novices, but we're getting the reps in, you know what I mean? So yeah, definitely look forward to that.
Yeah, I feel like I've learned a lot just kind of episode to episode.
Sure.
And even just about the coffee, it's fascinating.
Absolutely.
About the cannabis, it's fascinating. Or just and the passion behind both of these, all the products that we've tried, it's great. And as I'm trying this Deadhead OG here with the Fogbuster, have you tried it together?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's spicy. Do you get this?
Yes.
It makes this spiciness, and I don't know how else to describe it. It's like
I think that
spicy citrus that really gets drawn out of that coffee.
Yes, and I was gonna say, that sweet fruity taste I think is like from the weed to the coffee, and then the chocolate taste of the coffee together. Like
I mean, there's a time and place for this pairing. Not my favorite, but I do like it.
It's not a terrible pairing.
Yeah.
I'd say that they don't. Yeah, they're not the best, but they're a middle of the road pairing. Yeah. You know, solid 5 out of 10 pairing. Shit, man. You thinking what I'm thinking?
I don't know what I'm thinking right now.
Past lives.
Oh yeah. I'm all about transition. Why am I about these transitions?
I don't know. I think you think about that too much.
Well, it's weird. It's like you come in here fucking...
I try to just go like
high flying. Yeah. Dude. Yeah, I'm going to show up and be great. No big deal. And I'm over here. I'm like, damn, man, I need to write some shit down. Yeah.
I don't know. I just... I don't know. That's just how I roll, I guess.
But I don't know. You bring an authenticity that, like... I'm not saying that, if I do research or something or if I'm reading from somebody's website, it's not authentic, but it's like I'm trying to figure out the balance of, because
knowing because it's you don't want to be. I know what you're saying because like the way my style is, I think it's like I'm a little too anecdotal sometimes and less like factual because like I'm paraphrasing a lot of things that from memory from things I've read years ago. So like. And I'm going to do the same thing on today's episode when we talk about past lives.
Word.
So, like, you know what I mean? Like, so, like, the book, for instance, I'm going to talk about today I read about is Dolores Cannon's book, like, Between Life and Death.
Okay. So, Dolores Cannon?
Cannon.
Between Life and Death. Okay.
So, I read this book probably, like, actually probably like 6 or 7 years ago. But she's an American hypnotherapist.
Okay.
And she started doing hypnosis... And you guys are going to see how this has to do with past lives. But she started doing hypnotherapy in, I want to say, the 60s or 70s. When it was like just starting to be a thing as far as for help people quit smoking, to get people to lose weight. It was kind of still experimental, but people were, getting results as far as for other things. So she started out being a hypnotherapist and essentially was doing it the traditional way, like, people would come to her to stop smoking, and I forget who the first person she regressed into past lives. I forget what they came to her for, but let's just say, for the sake that this person came to her to like lose weight. So inadvertently, when this person was under hypnosis, she essentially regressed this person like back into a past life on accident without even like meaning to. You know what I mean?
Okay. And then what was the reaction of the person regressing to a past life? Did they just assume a different identity?
They were
in those moments. Like,
yes.
Now, did they assume that identity in the present, or did they think that they were in the past? Was it
they were under hypnosis, so they were unaware. They were unaware. They couldn't remember what was said. It was transcribed through them, but. The crazy thing is, and like after reading this book, and like what's crazy is she's regressed like so many people, and that was kind of like the start of her. Once she did that on accident, she's like, oh wow, like there's something to this, like there's something here, and then like she kind of made that her life's work, and she had that gift of that hypnosis gift where she could like kind of put people back through, and so essentially almost everybody she would hypnotize would have past lives. So every once in a while you'd have somebody who didn't have a past life, but all that was like they would be a new soul. It would be them like coming straight from consciousness or coming from the creator.
Right.
Like those would be like, that was the explanation for certain people not really having, it was their first incarnation.
Now that seems wild to me. Now in my theory of past lives, I really do feel that there's a biological past life and then there's a spiritual past life.
I 100% agree with you.
and really kind of what I mean by that is genetic memory that's kind of passed down through generations, like your ancestry,
right.
And some things you might be more inclined to. I mean, I guess people would say that's genetics, but also it's in a survival aspect, like, you somehow know or remember. Like, you would never have to know that a lion is fucking dangerous, you would know that a lion's dangerous. Like,
Right.
It's just something's passed down, as far as that genetic memory. And then spiritually, the past lives, like, I feel as though if you were just born in this life first, you know what I mean? And then you die, right? Where is the spiritual evolution happening? Like, how do you think in this just one life you can get from beginning to end, like the ultimate spiritual goal? Because the idea is not just to do it. The idea is to achieve your goal of complete spiritual ascension, whatever that may be.
Well, yeah.
And so the idea of being able to do that over one life seems so ridiculous to me, because that's such a short amount of time. And, we just are here to experience something and then carry it on and try to improve upon it in the next life,
right?
In a sense. And perhaps, as it coincides with biological evolution and consciousness, think about from being an ape to becoming man, less primal, less lizard brain, ideas and actions, and more thinking and more complex ideas, entering the brain, and the ability to show restraint or kindness. It's just things like that are kind of happening over time. And as we get comfortable and as we don't have the need to survive, or the conditions in which to survive are less harsh,
right?
So we can have a spiritual ascension or a spiritual evolution. And I feel like that happens over many, many years, and it's not just an individual experience. Like you can get reincarnated, as somebody who maybe the life before, you were, let's say, a hedonistic savage, like a Casanova, but then in your next life, you're like, okay, like I'm not going to be inclined to that. I'm going to actually just fucking be like a monk or I'm going to be a priest,
Well, who knows? Well, the thing with reincarnation, at least would be my belief on it, is that like you're reincarnated on this earth now, but like that's not to say your next incarnation will be on this earth or even in this galaxy or even in this dimension. Who knows? Your next incarnation could be, right? I mean, theoretically, if we're just like,
I feel like it'd be whatever you are ready for.
Right. I think it's you choose, and that's what Dolores says in her books. Is like she says, like everybody, like you choose to be here. Mm-hmm. Like you choose to reincarnate and what challenges you are going to have. Like she just says, there's a great veil like of forgetting. Like people forget why they're here. Mm-hmm. If you knew why you were here, like if you knew all the answers to the test, like it wouldn't be a good test. So that's the reason we don't remember the reasons why we're here or our past lives per se. Mm-hmm. Although there is documented cases of people even without hypnosis. Like I don't know if you've ever seen those people like remembering freaky shit, houses they've never been in. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah, it's
and like there's like no way to like explain some crazy shit like that.
Yeah, I would wonder, like, do you have any memories or have ever interacted with iterations of your past lives?
No, not really. No.
Okay.
But like my sister actually, she was she went to it. She had a past life regression done.
Whoa.
Yeah. So in Dolores's book too, like, and this was because like this is why I believe Dolores, because like this happened. My sister didn't go to Dolores Cannon. She went to a different hypnotherapist.
Yeah.
But what she kind of like her experience there, and what was kind of in line with how they described it. And so what it is like pretty much a lot of times, at least not 100% of the time, but a lot of times in your past lives, like the same people show up in different forms in your past lives. So like me and you were probably in a past life, we could have been brothers, or we could have been like boyfriend and girlfriend, or like, you know what I mean? Like in a million different combinations, we could have just been random strangers that walked by each other on the street in a past life.
Right.
So like it resonated because like when my sister was saying when she got regressed, like she was talking about how like she kept seeing my mom in like different forms as like different relationships with her. Mm. Like where roles were reversed, where she was her mother and blah, blah, blah. And like, so like, it's just kind of interesting. You know what I mean? And,
yeah, it's also interesting, the idea of our soul, of our spirit, like moving from form to form, like nodes, like, vessels, you know, like, okay, like done with this one, like, yeah, you know, onto this one. And the idea of forgetting.
It's almost like Yeah.
Yeah. You know, well, the whole thing about forgetting, right? Like, you probably remember some shit that you totally forgot. And what I mean by saying that is like, if you have a gut instinct towards something, like you don't know where the thought came from to be like, to have that instinct, but it's like, I know I'm not supposed to do this, you know, like for some fucking reason. And I feel like sometimes those are coming from beyond the veil, if you will, you know, of forgetfulness.
Well, and that's why I think a lot of this comes out under hypnosis is because like essentially like you remember all your past lives, like your past lives are stuck in your subconscious, like into your own like Akashic records, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Not to drop another bomb.
That's my.
We could do a whole nother fucking episode on the Akashic records, but it's like your own version of the Akashic records, and that's why there's a lot of success in hypnotizing people and them getting to regress themselves into past lives. And the weird thing is not only does she regress people and get details about their past lives, she regresses them to the time in between. In between life and death. What they're doing between life and death. And that is where the books get really fucking interesting.
Yeah. See, I'm actually kind of skeptical on that. You know, like that kind of, you know.
Well, what do you think? You think you just, like you said, like you die and then boom, you're instantly reincarnated into a body? I think you would spend some time outside. And you got to think, time is relative. In this plane and death, time doesn't exist. So you could spend an eternity there and still hop back into your body like nothing ever happened to a new body, like you never died. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to think out. I think you're thinking about it like it's a place where like you could spend literally an eternity figuring out what you wanted to learn in your incarnation.
Yeah, but then why would people, if that were the case, why would people ever come back here? Like, why would you have another life on Earth?
Why would you want to? But you're
not.
Know, but
not saying that I don't enjoy life on Earth.
Like,
life on Earth is great.
Here's the thing is, but you still haven't achieved oneness, and you're still no closer to God in this place than you were as a physical form. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
but oneness is so far away here on Earth because we fight each other over the color of our skin. Like, that is the farthest thing from fucking oneness.
Hopefully, that's why we're incarnated on this Earth is to change that and to be that consciousness shift. And that's why hopefully that's why we're incarnating in a time and place like this, is to be that catalyst for that next level of consciousness and to kind of raise humanity above that thinking of the divisions of borders of countries, colors of your skin.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
So it's like back at it until we knock that wall down.
Right.
All right.
We're using these incarnations to elevate and evolve. Like you said, one life isn't enough. Like I can't come change the racist world in one life maybe, but maybe over a couple we can, over 100 we can for sure. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying is like there's always job to be done. Right.
And it's always it's tough too to find like, you know, so the one of the experiences I think I've had with past lives too, like, is people that I might have known in past lives that I've met in this life. And like I feel like love is a very, very strong emotion that, you know, maybe can transcend, you know, lives. And so like there's people that even if it's been like a short interaction, like even if it's something that hasn't really like lasted, I think I've shared some connections with people, you know, emotionally, like love wise that, you know, even to this day, like I look back and I'm like, well, this life is not for that, but you know, because maybe it already was,
right?
Or, you know what I mean? Or it's yet
there's
to
a
be.
Reason you felt that passion.
Yeah, and in a different way than you know, the just kind of like
almost, right?
You know, breakup or the emotional separation of something. So that was like actually what got me more curious about exploring past lives and what memories might be unlocked. And then I read Dune. I don't know if you ever read that book.
No, I've never read it.
So Dune is basically there's a concept in Dune that your past lives or your like generational ancestry, like those past lives, can possess you and like control you, and like you can interact with them because you have information that you can gain from them.
Yeah,
but you run the risk of losing control and them possessing you, and basically like a possession, like a demon possession.
Well, and this is what I think. Maybe it's not a possession, but like a figurative possession, because like
Yeah.
I'm
that's in the book. It's sci-fi.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm gonna go back to Dolores
But I
Cannon.
read that book and I was kind of
Yeah.
like nervous about it. Like, maybe I don't want to explore my past life.
Right. Well, I'm gonna go back to Dolores Cannon because she says that like the phobias you experience in your life now, like somebody who's like afraid of water, like probably drowned to death in a past life or something, or had a bad experience with water, or somebody who's like scared of snakes, probably got bit by a snake or you know what I mean, like, and that's what I mean is that DNA memory of like being afraid of certain things and having those past generational fears, kind of like a curse affecting you in this life now. You know what I mean? Like somebody who's afraid of heights, like why are you afraid of heights? Have you ever fallen off? If you've never fallen off anything. And, like, what is your irrational fear of being up on a high place?
Well, yeah, rational fears in general, right?
Right,
Okay.
and that's what I'm saying is, like, irrational fears, they say, are just, like, watermarks on past lives. And, like, kind of like there's something there probably in your DNA makeup, in your memory subconscious, that there's a reason you're scared to get in the water. There's a reason you're scared of the dark. There's a reason for, like, all that irrational fear. You know what I'm saying?
What's the reason?
Past life.
Past life.
The past life. That's what I'm saying. Is you're harboring that.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
demon.
It's a trauma. It's a trauma from a past
demon
life
from
that
your past life.
can hinder you in this life.
Right.
It's interesting. And that kind of runs the idea of like, if you can heal trauma from a past life.
Well, and I think that's what that's what her work became, was trying to heal people who are experiencing trauma. And she's like, so when people would come to her with depressions or different things, she would try to find out the root in past lives or what she could find, or like maybe somebody's depressed because she'll go in that like the reason they reincarnated here isn't going like they planned. You know what I mean? Like they plan to do X, Y, and Z on their incarnation here, and they're not where they need to be. So their soul is like depressed, or you know what I mean? Like their incarnation. I don't know. But that's like, I don't know. You can be skeptical of her, but like she's an interesting read. She's an interesting read. She's got a lot of like lectures on YouTube and shit too. And she talks about her experiences and like, I don't know, a lot of it resonates with me. But I can see why people are skeptical of this kind of stuff. And like I always say, do your own research, like, but I just think it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. I wonder if the idea of past lives, why does nobody ever talk about the idea of future lives? Like what if you could?
That's yeah.
Well, no, if you think about
my mind with that. Well, no, that's a good fucking point, dude. Well, I just fucking
no. It's like in a future life, like my future. Well, they say like my future self, right? Like my future self is I don't know. I guess it's a figure of speech, but right. But the real true concept of a future life. I mean, think about it. If you're talking about the Akashic record, right? And the idea of the Akashic record is that
it's all knowing,
all information, anything that has happened, is happening, or will happen, has already happened. So there must be a record of all of that somewhere at the end of time. You know what I mean?
Well,
that exists.
Yeah. Have you ever heard that theory too? That like the past, future, and present is all happening at the same time.
Yeah. Well, it's because time and space. Yeah, I can't get into that right now, but that is an interesting conversation I'd love to have at some point.
We could postpone that
because I do have a lot to say about space time,
the quantum physics, or what is that?
But why not be able to, if all of that is, if that's the case, right? If the future is happening now, why wouldn't you be able to travel to a future self mindset wise and see where you're at, or actually like maybe we do.
I guess you could do
that.
Yeah,
because you envision like if you envision yourself,
you manifest things in your life, and like if I have a dream, like if think about like famous athletes, or like like Kobe Bryant, he probably dreamed every night that he was going to play in the NBA. Probably dreamed every night that he was going to win an NBA title.
Well, like even visualizing like
if he never had that first initial vision, he would have never done it. Probably.
Yeah, even visualize. Well, sports is a good example because think about visualizing. Like throwing a strike, like you're actually on the mound,
right?
And you're like in your head, you use your mind to actually see yourself throw a pitch, and then you like make it happen.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it's like a projection. I don't know if that's a projection of your future self to your present self, or your
course,
present self to your future
I would do
self.
the same thing, and like if I had a wrestling tournament, then like the
right.
night
Sports
before,
is the most vivid memory I have of visualizing something and making it happen. So
I would
that's
have
like
wrestling. I'd be like, all right, if he does this, if he goes for a single leg, I'm gonna throw a wizard. I'm gonna do this. Like, I would
and
try
you
to
can
have
see
that,
it. You can really see it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So like that's what I mean is like maybe that's our future life, but it is an abstract concept because it is when you said that I was just because
I don't know.
the top we were like past lives. You're like, what about future lives? I'm like, dude, what about future lives? Like that shit is fucking crazy.
But we're talking, but we're not even talking future lives. We're talking the future of our life here. Like we're not even talking about the future lives after death.
I think it goes hand in hand.
I
think our future lives is a future life in an abstract form. That's why I said it's like an abstract thing.
Yeah, I can't think about my next avatar that vividly. Like if you think about like who you'd be in the next like life, like literally after you die as Dean Thompson, which I hope never happens. I hope you live eternally. No, but like I can't even like envision what my avatar could be. It could be anything, you know?
Shit, dude. That was fucking we were steaming along there.
Yeah, I gotta admit, man, like it's the more I think about it, the more difficult it is to conceptualize.
Honestly, do me a favor. Watch some of Dolores Cannon's YouTube videos. Like, I think she'll kind of, if you like, just listen to it with an open mind, and maybe she can kind of help, like, give you. You're gonna understand where I'm coming from at least when you hear. You know what I mean? Because I'm just like I said, I'm paraphrasing, and like, she's much smarter than me, and like, she passed away a while ago. I think like in the early 2000s. She was like, older even in like, the 80s,
Yeah, I wonder if she's back.
She's definitely back.
Dude, I wonder who she is, bro. What? Who is she now? That's
who is she now?
She's probably growing up somewhere, right? She died 10 years ago. Maybe she's back. Like, I don't know.
Dude, now you got me thinking. Like, what if you could incarnate into a past life? Like, you die in this life and you incarnate in the past.
Because you wouldn't. No, you can't change. No, because you can't change the events.
But what if you were in a different dimension, like in the past, in a different time? Like, you know what I mean? Because, like, I'm getting really far out now.
No, I know.
But, like, I love it.
But you're just like, you're totally, like, in full confidence, like, yeah, I'm just going to pilot my fucking essence wherever the fuck I please.
No, I'm not even saying that it's like wherever I please. But
I can't even like think about like, damn, if I get that lucky,
right.
Like I'll be incarnated as this. I feel like it's out of my control. So it's like interesting to me that like, I don't know, you speak in a way that has full confidence of like, you know where you're going. And like my idea of it is just like, I'm at the mercy of something else.
I'm not necessarily saying you pick. I'm not saying you pick where you're going. I'm saying you know where you're going. I'm saying they say this is your assignment. Oh, you want to incarnate here, and this is what you need to learn. Like, this is your assignment. Like, this is where you're going. Like, but you know. Like, you're like, before you take that pill and you forget everything and you go through that birthing canal, if you're incarnated as a human. But you know what I mean?
Dude,
then
maybe there's a dimension where humans hatch out of eggs.
Right. Or maybe you're just like, you incarnate as like a beast of some sort. Or like a fucking...
Oh, bro. I already am.
Maybe you
I already am a beast.
Shit. Beefcake.
Maybe getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you go to the gym downstairs?
Nah, dude. I hate going to the gym. Honestly, like I don't have the patience to be at the gym. My like attention deficit disorder is basically like, no, you need to have like a goal. So I like playing games like basketball and tennis and
like there's an objective.
Yeah, hockey.
Like, right.
Like yeah, where there's an objective, a goal. Like
so
like,
you're so like weight training just is boring then.
Yes,
you think it's boring?
It's boring to me. Yes.
I respect that because it is fucking boring. I don't think it's fucking.
Yeah, I definitely like, maybe I died in a really bad like weightlifting accident in a past
life.
Your
pants in a fucking bench
and
press
really
or
embarrassed. Yeah,
I don't know.
Dumbbell.
Shit.
All right, guys. Well,
hey,
thanks for joining us for this episode. This one, right off the rip, and
you want to tell them what they can expect for the next ep a little bit?
Oh yeah, next episode, guys.
I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be in Newport, so we're going to have
living his life.
Yep. We're going to have a replacement on the show for me.
Crossover episode with the Ludlow Life podcast.
Worlds combined.
Cody Pinto is going to be joining us.
He's a dab master.
Yeah, good old Pete Johnson.
Pete Johnson, dab master flex.
And we're going to try some extract.
I don't know if you guys remember, but I threw a challenge out to Farmer Jeff. Farmer Jeff accepted the challenge, and hopefully these guys are going to save me some so I can get a taste. But I unfortunately I won't be here to be on the episode to review it. But if I can't be there, I know Cody's probably much more of an expert on that stuff than I am.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Really stoned.
It's going to be a good one.
Do you guys know what you're talking about for your topic of consciousness?
Not yet, but it'll be something fun. It'll be something fun.
I can't wait.
Yeah, and I enjoyed your company today, and it was good little talk. And
yeah, it was awesome, man.
Yeah, and so Fogbuster, Coffee Works, road trip, good go to. I would try it out. The Deadhead OG definitely had the right type of flavor I was looking for. Real easy to smoke, and
they paired decently well together.
Yeah.
All right. Hey guys, shout out real quick too. Like if you guys are listening, if you're listening every week, you like the show, please do us a favor, hit that subscribe button. Mean a lot to us. If you guys are fans of the show, obviously, all the support means everything to us. Yeah, and hope to do this again soon.
Yeah, guys, like and subscribe.
Peace.
And see you next week.